Hi, I'm Pat from the Sewing Studio Fabric Superstore, and today I want to introduce to you the BabyLock Accomplish. If you're a quilter or a bag maker, maybe you like to do some home decor sewing, this machine is amazing for that. Why? Because it sews 1,500 stitches per minute. So stay with me and I'm going to show you some of the other features on this fabulous machine. First of all, we're going to start out by going over the accessories that are included with the machine. So we have bobbins, we have a medium screwdriver and a small screwdriver. Of course, we have organ needles, and there's two packages here. If you turn it over on this one, you'll see that this is a little pin feed, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And this package here is actually the package of needles. This here, this little rubber, looks like a little rubber stopper, works with the pin feed, and it's for changing it. And again, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So moving along here, we have a rolled hem foot. We have the 1/4 inch foot that has the notches on it, your 1/4 inch to the front, needle position where your needle is, and a 1/4 inch from the back. And then we have a flex foot here, and I want to show you this. I want to show you how this actually flexes. So when would you use this foot? Say you're sewing over something that is very bulky, maybe the seam on some blue jeans, or maybe you're doing some home decorating and making heavy cushions, sewing around seams that are heavy, maybe with piping. What you would use this foot, and what this foot does is that it flexes as it goes over seams to accommodate. So the foot doesn't stay flat and it works with you as opposed to against you. This here, you've got a cone holder, you've got a spool cap, you've got a little cleaning brush, a net, you've got a zipper foot, that's an adjustable zipper foot, you have an invisible zipper foot, you have this wonderful free motion foot, a clear free motion foot, and then you have it's a heavy duty walking foot. And if you look at the other side of this walking foot, it actually has a little warning on there. And what it says basically is the BabyLock Accomplish will go up to 1,500 stitches per minute, but you do not want to use the walking foot when you're going 1,500 stitches per minute. You need to slow down when you're using the walking foot. So it also, of course, comes with the manual and a quick reference threading guide. Also, a very nice extension table. And if you flip the extension table over, in here is your knee lift. And I am going to set that up on the machine in a minute. So extension tables, I think sometimes are a little bit overlooked and not used as much as they should be. And this helps to hold the weight of your fabric, especially if you're quilting or if you're sewing on something that's heavy. Always put your extension table on. It's very, very nice to have, and it comes with the machine, and then it also comes with a very nice soft cover so you can keep your machine protected. And then it comes with a seam guide too. I actually have that set up on the machine, and I'm going to show you the features on the machine next, and I'll show you how the seam guide is set up on the machine. So first of all, let me show you how easy it is to thread the Accomplish, and then we're going to work our way down to the needle, and I'm going to show you the seam guide, one of the other accessories that comes with the machine. So it's a very easy machine to thread. Basically, you put your thread on the thread stand, bring it up to your thread guide, and then you bring your thread down here. There's a thread guide with 3 little holes in it, and this can be a little confusing as to what holes to thread it through. So basically what this does is that it helps to detangle the thread before it goes down into the system or the rest of the threading or your pre-tension here. So you can start by going through the top hole, looping around and looping around. If you feel like you've got a little bit too much tension, or you just want to go through 2 of the holes, you can do that. The beauty of these machines is in quilting you want to be able to adjust your tension. It's one of the few things that you need to do when you're quilting, is adjust your tension according to the weight of your fabric. So this is kind of like a detangler plus a little bit of a pre-tension guide. So once you've gone through your 3 little holes there, you're going to come down and you're going to go into the tension discs, come up and around and behind your little spring wire, come down and underneath the hook again, come up to your take-up lever. Whenever you thread this machine, you want to make sure that your take-up lever and your presser foot are always in the highest position. So come up to your take-up lever and come down again and thread through here. There's another little hook here, and then it has a very easy needle threader you can use down here. Now there is something that I want to tell you about this machine and most of the machines in the BabyLock line. BabyLock is huge on education and educating us and you on how to use their product. So we have a link that we're going to connect to this video where you can go to BabyLock's YouTube channel, and this machine actually has about 30 short videos covering every feature on this machine. So if you were to purchase this machine or you already have one of these machines, you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck, because you're getting education on every feature and on every foot that comes with the machine. So even if I showed you or you learned how to use a particular foot today, you may not use that foot for a month or 2 months, and you may have forgotten what it is you have to do. So you could just go onto YouTube on the BabyLock USA channel and look there for the accomplished videos, and in a couple of minutes you will be a pro at whatever you're doing. So let's get back to the machine. So very easy threader on top, and then you've got a traditional bobbin case on the bottom. You'll see that I have the extension table set up on it, and I wanted to show you, because we're talking about threading, that there's actually a little door that I can open up here to have easier access to inserting my bobbin down below. So when I'm done, I can close it up and then just snap this. Now you can see down here that I have the seam guide attached to my machine. I have the flex foot attached. I love this little foot. It's really narrow, great for any of your projects. Now remember, one of the features of this machine is that it goes 1,500 stitches per minute, which is fabulous. Most machines don't do that. So because it goes so fast, it's a semi-commercial machine. It's not a commercial machine, because commercial machines go even faster and are bigger. But it is a very, very strong machine. It has strong penetration power. So if you're a bag maker and you want to go through several thicknesses of whether it's vinyls or different stabilizers that you use, this machine has the strength to drive through all of that. So coming back down here, you'll see I have the seam guide. This comes with the machine, and it's a very unique seam guide. I really like it. You can see here that I'm swinging it up and down, so if I don't want to use it, I can swing it up and not use it. But I also have the ability to be able to unscrew this, loosen it, and slide it along. And you'll see that as I slide it along, when I get to the markings or grooves on my throat plate, because I have 3 markings on my throat plate. I have 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 5/8 inch. So as I slide it in, it naturally falls, this tongue, so to speak, falls into the groove of the 5/8, and then I can just tighten it up. So when I put my fabric underneath my foot, I know that as I butt it up to the edge of this, that I've got a perfect 5/8 inch. So you've got to love that. And that this comes with the machine. So let's talk about one of the unique features on this BabyLock Accomplish machine. Over here, we have a setting that I can adjust or change. And what is this? This is your feed dog system. So I actually have 4 settings that I can customize to whatever project I'm sewing or quilting on. So if I was to move my lever all the way to the left and put it on gray, I am dropping my feed dogs. You can see that from the little picture here. If I select the red setting here, it raises my feed dogs, and what you will see to the right of the little feed dog picture here is what looks like a little needle coming up behind the feed dogs. So this is we are now activating the pin feed system on this machine. And what does that mean and what does that do? So when I select red, the machine behind the feed dog system is bringing up a little pin. And what that is going to help me with, or why I would select that setting, is because say I was wanting to sew something at high speed. As the fabric feeds through underneath my presser foot and over my feed dogs, the pin behind my feed dog is coming up with the feed dogs and grabbing my fabric as it stitches out behind my presser foot, and it's helping me to control and have my fabric go very straight. In other words, it's helping me to feed the fabric straight through. It also helps when you're working with difficult fabrics like velvets or velvetings. It helps to keep them on track underneath the foot and keep me out of trouble. And it also works, believe it or not, with maybe like slippery knits or something that's kind of got a mind of its own and it's crawling around and you want to kind of tame it as it comes off. So the pin feed system is a great thing to have on this machine, especially too because of the high speed, like I mentioned before. Okay, so that's just the red setting. Now if I move this down, it's dropping my feed dogs. When I'm on blue, it's dropping my feed dogs a little bit lower and my pin is no longer there. So the blue setting here is for my lighter weight fabrics where I don't need a really heavy feeding system. And when I bring it down to the green, my feed dogs are coming up a little bit more, and so I would use the green setting for when I'm maybe using heavier fabric, but maybe like quilting cottons or quilting. Again, if I was doing something troublesome like velvet or velveteen, I would use my pin feed to help me. But if I was piecing a quilt together and I had batting, I would use my green setting, which does not use the pin. There's also something very cool about this whole system, is that it's color coordinated. Over here is the pressure on my presser foot. This knob here and this system here is the pressure on my presser foot. And as you can see, when you look at it, it's got the same colors as my pin feed system over here, or my feed dog system. So if I was working in the blue area of my feed dogs, I could come over here and turn this knob so that, I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but there's actually like a little red marker that rides up and down in here. So I could turn this so that it my little red marker goes into whatever color block or color section of my presser foot pressure. So it's working, it's coordinating my presser foot pressure over here with the feeding system underneath. If you're working with all different weights of fabric or you're quilting, it's nice to have, to be able to customize or adjust your feeding system and the pressure on top so that you're ultimately successful in your project. So that is a really cool feature about this machine. Now coming back over here, I have a lever. This is my reverse lever. Again, just very easy to use. You just press it down and your machine will go into reverse. Up here, I have my stitch length, so I can go from 1 to 7. Remember, this is a straight stitch only machine, very fast machine, so there's not a lot of things that you can adjust, but you can adjust your stitch length. And here I have my thread cutter. So that's always nice to have on a machine when you've finished with your stitching or your quilting, to be able to just touch this and the machine will pull your top thread down and cut your bobbin thread and your top thread at the same time. One more button over here, you'll see my little red light is selected there. This is needle up, needle down. So if I select this button and it's red, I'm telling the machine that when it stops, that I want it to stop with a needle down position, because maybe I'm sewing a garment or whatever it is I'm sewing. I want to be able to kind of lift and pivot. So talking about lift and pivot means I want my presser foot to go up, but my needle to stay down so that I can maneuver my project or my fabric underneath my presser foot. Now obviously this machine does not have a lift and pivot button, but what I do have is I have a knee lift here. And I showed you in the beginning when I showed you the accessories that on the back side of the extension table, the knee lift is in there. And so what does the knee lift do? It gives me the ability with my knee to move it, and it lifts my presser foot up and down. So it leaves my hands free to be able to keep my hands on my project. So coming up here, of course, we've got the traditional bobbin winder. I told you in the beginning, I showed you some of the feet, great feet that come already with the machine. There are videos on on BabyLock's YouTube channel. There are videos and instruction on everything. But remember that whatever foot you put on here that comes with the machine, the needle position is always in the same position. So if you, for instance, were going to use the adjustable zipper foot because you want to, well, you want to put a zipper in, but maybe you want to make a pillow and you want to make your own piping, you want to be able to really butt your foot up against the edge of the cording, you can do that with this adjustable zipper foot. So you're adjusting the foot, the needle is still staying in the same position all the time. So there's your adjustable zipper foot, very simple foot to use for putting in zippers, and of course the wonderful seam guide. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video. We've linked BabyLock's series of videos on the Accomplish in the description of this video, so don't forget to go and check them out. This machine is available on our website on sewing.net, and if you have any questions, give us a call and we'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm going to do some quilting now.